Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Thanks for coming to the YouTube channel. Please remember to click the like button and to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like the content that I do. You know, I make mistakes and I try and rectify those mistakes whenever possible, and hopefully through that journey of making mistakes and correcting them, it helps you learn about, you know, pond keeping and how to correct mistakes that you've done. On this pond, for example, I've had quite a few leaks and I've had to fix them, whether it be the UV or the pump that weren't working correctly, properly, or not connected properly. But I've come to the conclusion that we need to sort this pond out and change it a little bit. As a lot of you will know, if you go to the pond build videos that I've done, I have a bit of internal pipe inside the pond. I think maybe that was probably ill-advised, but it was an experiment to see if having pipework running through your liner and out of your liner was actually possible. A lot of people did criticise the way that I did my skimmer box, where I put the gasket on differently and overload it with actual silicone, which shouldn't be a big deal. The more silicone you use, the better. Unfortunately, I think I made a massive error on using some cheap silicone that I use. I think it's called HA6. It's £10 a tube off Amazon, really cheap. But I think it's a mistake to cheap out on silicone. You really need to get good quality silicone like Golden Label. I think this is C1 Plus, something like that. That's pretty good as well. But you also need to make sure it's fish friendly, because a lot of the silicone that you can buy has chemicals in it that can harm your fish. So whenever you're buying silicone, make sure it says fish safe. So what problems am I having with the pond at the moment? You might be thinking, well, I have a leak with the skimmer. It's coming from the back of it, and unfortunately you don't want a lot of water on your wood because eventually it will rot it. It doesn't matter whether you've got treated wood, you've put wood preserver on your wood. When wood gets soaked, it eventually deteriorates and is no good basically anymore. So I'm going to show you the leak that I've got on the pond. But at the moment, I would like to ask anyone out there who watches my YouTube channel, if you've got any pieces of EPDM rubber lying around, some square pieces, get in touch with me. I'd be happy to give you a bit of money towards it, because I need a few pieces. Because the plan is we're going to seal up some pipe work that I've got running through the actual liner. I've decided we're going to change things quite a bit, and we're going to rectify the skimmer as well. So what could be wrong with the skimmer? My suspicion is the silicone I've used is pretty rubbish and it's probably leaking. I have noticed when I go to some of the tank connectors further down and I try and put my hand underneath where the actual silicone is. I overloaded the silicone on top of the tank connectors, you see. You can actually feel the silicone coming away from the actual liner, which suggests to me that this silicone is a pile of crap, and I highly recommend no one uses it. I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like and what brand it is, but don't use it. It's terrible. I certainly won't be using it again. Yeah, £10 a tube is great value for money, and if you're thinking maybe you need 10 or 20 tubes, that could add up to a big saving, rather than buying something like Golden Label or whatever at £30 a tube, which is quite pricey. And obviously you can appreciate if you buy lots of tubes, that figure, that amount of money you're spending can suddenly rise significantly quite high. So I highly recommend everyone chooses a good brand of silicone to use, rather than cheap out on some cheaper stuff like I did. I would highly recommend that you don't use that HA6 stuff that I've been using. I'll put a link in the description box if you want to have a look at it on Amazon, to see the details of it, but it's up to you if you want to obviously buy it or not. So without further ado, let me show you the leak. And again, remember to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm always doing things on the pond to better it. Obviously you've seen my journey from building it all the way up to present, as well as the little things I keep adding, such as we got the solar panelled duck bird bath over there. We've got the plant box over there, which is like a combined plant box and pond. Quite relatively cheap, really. Obviously we've got the small pond over there. I've done videos on that. Look, check that out if you want to, where I've built like a stone tunnel. Water comes through the stone into the pond in like a waterfall. In fact, I'll show you that as well in the video. But without further ado, let me just show you the leak problem I've got. So here is the leak. Obviously you can see the wood is wet there, and if I go over here you can see a ton of water that's coming off the skimmer there. I believe if I put my hand there, look, you can see water. So we've got a leak coming through. We've got a bit of expanding foam underneath just to keep that in position, and obviously silicone, which is actually on the other side, obviously. So obviously that's the skimmer there, but we clearly must have a problem with it, and my suspicion is the silicone. Anyway, as I said, the modification I'm going to change and look at changing is this pipe that we've got there. I'm going to get rid of that, and all these returns that we've got, one there, there's another one over there and another one over there. I'm going to literally drop the water level and re-silicone everything with some new silicone, because my suspicion is that silicone is peeling away. So for those of you who have not seen the small pond, I'll just show you. Obviously that's the bird bath. Obviously when we get some good sun, you'll see that in operation, but I have done a separate video on that if you want to check that out. Here is the plant area that I replanted. Some of it is doing alright and some of it not so great. Here is the stone tunnel, as you can see. Basically a bit of cement and some stones, and then obviously the waterfall. And as you can see, we've got a bit of sun, and you can see the waterfall actually in operation there. Basically it's a solar panelled powered pump that's positioned underneath those plants. Underneath those plants is a small fish cave. Obviously we've got our fish, our goldfish swimming around, as you can see. Just needs a bit of a clean out because we've got a bit of algae growing, but essentially that's the pond. Obviously we've sorted out the little patio area here, so it's not too overgrown now like it was before, and you can quite easily, you know, come on here, chill out and watch the fish from this position. So essentially that's what we've got, and this is the pond. So I just wanted to give you a bit of an update. So we've got a new leak, so I need to sort this out because this wood will rot, and we don't like wood to rot, do we? So a few things that need to be updated and changed. As you can see underneath here, if we just show you, that side of the pipe there draws the water into the skimmer box, and then it goes back down there into some of the returns, because we've got a return there and a return further down. But I'm not too happy with the actual silicone that I've used, so we need to sort that out because this leak needs to be fixed. I can't leave it like that. So I just thought I'd just give you a bit of an update, tell you what's going on. Is it possible there's a crack in the skimmer box? Possibly, but I won't know that until I lower the water level. So we'll do that at some point. But I just get the impression that this silicone is no good, you know. Anyway, just wanted to do a bit of an update just to show you how it's performing. Let's just have a look at the filter, because some of you guys are interested in the filter in terms of how I built it. If you're interested, I do have some filter build videos that I've done. So I thought I'd just show you the filter. So we've got some sponges there that filter the pond, some brushes, some Japanese matting, plants on top of lots of gravel. Check out the video if you want to see how I built this. I'll put a link in the description box if you want to see a video on how I constructed this. But this has been running really well in terms of filtering the pond and keeping it nice and clean. So I'll conclude with thanks for watching. Remember to like the video, would appreciate it. Any comments, you know, you're welcome to leave. If anyone has got some offcuts of EPDM liner lying around that they could send me, so I can plug up a few of those tank connectors that I plan on removing. I think it's probably a good idea that I seal some of these holes up as well as put some new silicone on. I'm just not very happy with this HA6 silicone at all. It's really bad and it has a habit of peeling away over time. It just doesn't seem to adhere to the actual liner very well. It easily ripped off. It doesn't seem to age very well either, if I'm honest with you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a nice day and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.